All right, today we're tackling a big one. We're going to talk about a system designed to help you wrestle all that chaos from modern life and turn it into something clear, useful, and actionable. We're going to build a second brain.
You know this feeling, right? It's like your mind is a web browser with 100 tabs open at once. You've got brilliant ideas, things you need to remember, tasks you meant to write down, and it's all just slowing you down, making it impossible to focus on what really matters.
And this quote right here from David Allen, it absolutely nails the core of the problem. Your brain, it's an incredible idea-generating machine, but it's a terrible filing cabinet. When you force it to hold on to everything, you're actually taking away the power it needs to do what it does best: create, solve problems, and just be present.
So, if our actual brain isn't meant for holding all this stuff, what's the answer? Well, that's where the idea of a second brain comes in. It's all about outsourcing the job of remembering to a system you can actually trust.
So what is a second brain? You can think of it as a trusted digital companion, kind of like an external hard drive for your mind. It's one central place where all your best ideas, your research, your insights, everything lives, all organized and ready for you. This frees up your first brain to do the fun stuff, the deep, creative thinking.
Now, this whole system was really brought into the mainstream by productivity expert Tiago Forte. He came up with two incredibly simple but really powerful frameworks to give our digital lives a little structure and a lot more purpose. So let's break them down.
The first framework is what you could call your creative operating system. It's called CODE. And this is the four-step process for taking all that raw information you bump into every day and turning it into something real, something you can actually use. So here's how COD works. First, you capture what resonates with you. You're not trying to save everything, just the good stuff. Second, you organize it for action, not just to file it away forever. Third, you distill it down to its core message. This is how you really learn and internalize it. And finally, you express it. You use that knowledge to create something new. And that last step is so important because it's what keeps your second brain from just becoming a digital graveyard of notes you'll never look at again.
Now that organized step, that's a big one, right? I mean, how do you actually structure everything you're saving? Well, this is where the second framework, PARA, comes in. It is a wonderfully simple 4-category filing system that you can use for your entire digital life. The real magic of PAR is that it's all about action. Projects are your short-term goals with a clear finish line. Areas are the long-term parts of your life, like your health or finances. Resources are just topics you're interested in. And the archive, well, that's for everything else that's not active anymore. This simple structure means the stuff you need right now is always right at the top. Okay, so you've got the frameworks. But how do you keep this whole system from getting messy and out of control? The secret, the absolute key, is a simple, consistent habit: the weekly review. And here's the best part. This isn't some huge time commitment. We're talking about 30 minutes a week. That's it. It's just a quick reset to close all those open loops in your head so you can go from that Sunday scaries feeling to having total clarity on a Monday morning. So how do you remember what to do during this little review? Just remember this one phrase: every commitment needs tracking. The first letter of each word, ECNT, points you to the 4 digital inboxes you need to clear out each week. The whole review process follows a really natural flow. You start with your email, clearing it out from oldest to newest. Then you glance at your calendar to see what's coming up or what you need to follow up on. Next, you process your notes, all those ideas you captured, and file them into your PARA system. And finally, you look at your tasks and, most importantly, you pick just your top 3 priorities for the week. That last step, that's what gives you real focus. Okay, I know, this can all sound like a pretty big project, but getting started is actually so much simpler than you think. You don't have to build this perfect, massive system from day one. Let's talk about a few practical tips to get you going today. First off, start small. Seriously, just focus on one project or one area of your life. Second, use the technology you already have. This is about the principles, not finding the perfect app. Third, be aggressive with what you save. If it doesn't really light a spark or seem useful, just let it go. And finally, make that weekly review non-negotiable. It is the engine that keeps this entire system running smoothly. Look, at the end of the day, you can read all the books and watch all the videos, but the real change, the real clarity, it only happens when you actually do something. Your system doesn't have to be perfect. The most important advice is right here on the screen. Just start. So what's one idea you're going to capture today?